What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my prize picks breakdown for Noche UFC. We got Valentina Shevchenko going against Alexa Grasso.
I need all the wins, yeah. All that and all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
And we are back breaking down some prize picks for Noche UFC. This week we have an 11-fight card, and I'm really looking forward to this card. Top to bottom, I think it's a card where a lot of these fights are going to deliver, and as a fan, I'm really looking forward to it. I have, I believe, 9 prize picks plays that I'm going to go through that I like this week, and we're going to talk about all of that. Before we get into the plays, if you guys can please do me a favor, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and if you want to check out prize picks if you're new, check it out, prizepicks.com. Use promo code DFSBTN for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. It helps me, it helps you. Get yourself some free money, some free entries there. But yeah, I say we get into it, and we're going to start with the significant strikes. And yeah, the significant strikes this week are tricky for me because there's a lot of like loopy. Like if she wrestles, she's not going to get 51. If she doesn't wrestle, she's going to crush that. Like I don't know what she's going to do. You know, Cortez, that fight probably plays out in the grappling realm, but you never know. Maybe they strike. The only one that really stuck out to me is going to be the Charlie Campbell significant strikes here, and I'm going to take the less, 27.5 significant strikes for Charlie Campbell. I like the less here. Charlie Campbell has a ton of power. He's taken on Alex Reyes, who's coming in here after a 6-year layoff, which is just unheard of. I have a strong feeling that Charlie Campbell finishes this fight and finishes it within the first round and probably the first couple minutes. The last time we saw Alex Reyes in there, again, was 6 years ago, and he got knocked out in the first round by Mike Perry. Charlie Campbell's power is no joke, and I think it's a striker versus grappler matchup. If Reyes is not able to get the fight down to the mat, I think he's getting knocked out here. So give me Charlie Campbell, give me the less on the significant strikes, and really that's kind of the only one sticking out. The Raul Rosas one's so low, but I mean, I don't know. So I'm going to stay away from everything else, and we're going to move on to the fight time, which a couple things do stick out on the fight time here. So the first one is going to be, this is one I do like this week. It kind of reminds me of the Taffa fight last week. It was, I think, the same thing. 14.75 minutes in fight time for Raul Rosas Jr. I'm taking the less here. Raul Rosas Jr., a minus 800 favorite. He's going against Terrence Mitchell, a killer-be-killed fighter. Terrence Mitchell has been over 1.5 rounds, I want to say only once in his entire career. This guy barely gets to the second round, Terrence Mitchell, and I don't think he sees a second round here. Raul Rosas Jr. is probably going to take this guy down. He's probably going to take his back, and he's probably going to choke him out shortly after. I think this is an absolute get-right spot for Raul Rosas Jr., and I don't like the chances of Terrence Mitchell in this one. I don't really see much finishing upside from Mitchell. I guess he's a dangerous grappler in his own right, has some power, but not at the UFC level, in my opinion. I think it's Raul Rosas Jr. getting the sub himself, and I think it takes less than 5 minutes for him to do it. All right, the next one I'm going to talk about is going to be the Valentina Shevchenko fight time. I'm going to take the more. I mean, this is a lot, 24.75, but I do think this fight goes the distance. I don't really see Valentina finishing Grasso. I think Grasso has shored up those holes in her grappling. I think Grasso's super tough as well. I think Grasso's able to survive the full 25 minutes. On the flip side, I don't see another submission on the Grasso side. I know it happened last time, but I don't think lightning's going to strike in the same place twice there. I see this fight going 25 minutes. So yeah, more than 24.75 minutes here. I think it goes the full 25. Could be a little bit of a sweat, but I'm not sure. I don't really think either fighter's getting finished in this one. And then we have the Charlie Campbell fight time here sitting at 5 minutes. And I like the less here, 5 minutes. I think this fight ends in the first round. We talked about Charlie Campbell with the significant strikes, right? He's taking on Alex Reyes, a killer-be-killed fighter. We saw him get knocked out in the first round 6 years ago. Fast forward 6 years later, 6 year layoff. I mean, what's Alex Reyes been doing? What's he going to look like? I'm not sure, but what I am sure of is Charlie Campbell hits like an absolute truck. So, like the less here on fight time and minutes for Charlie Campbell. The Edgar Chairez one, I would like a 6.5, like a 7.5. 5 minutes, I can't get there. Like typically, I'd like to play some violence in a Lacerda fight, but 5 minutes, I kind of have a feeling this might get a little bit into the second, so I'm staying away from that one. So Campbell, less. Rosas, less. Valentina, more. Let's see if we can hit those. And then fantasy score, there's actually a lot sticking out for the fantasy score. Let's keep the Charlie Campbell train going here. Fantasy score for Charlie Campbell, 115.5. It may seem like a lot, but 115.5, you get a first round bonus. That's 100. You get a knockdown in there. You get a couple significant strikes in there. I think he puts up 120 to 130 even. I like Charlie Campbell to go out there and knock down Alex Reyes and get him out of there in the first round. If he does knock him down and get him out of there in the first round, this more is going to hit there. So I like the more. Charlie Campbell fantasy score there. And then we have the Josephine Knutson fantasy score. If I can find it, there she is. So Josephine Knutson, 88.5. I'm taking the less here. I think she wins this fight at a very high clip. She's in minus 800 favorite, but she's not a finisher. One finish in her entire career, and this is a fight where I could see a lot of it playing on the cage, and you don't get control time on PrizePicks. So, and I can also see like a takedown for Knutson, a lot of control on the mat, on the cage. I don't see this fight taking place a ton at the striking range. Marnik Mann's going to try to make this a grappling match. To her detriment, probably. I think Knutson's better everywhere, but yeah, this is a lot. I think it goes 15 minutes. Knutson's not really finishing anybody. I like the less here on the fantasy score. Another one we'll talk about is going to be Lupi Godinez, 89.5. Give me the more. So this one's an interesting one. If Lupi Godinez wrestles, she crushes this score. She crushes it. She finishes Elise Reed. She takes her down. She either, subs her or TKOs her. She crushes 89.5. If, for some reason, Lupi goes out there and decides to continue the trend of not wrestling against Elise Reed, who has no ground game, I still think she can hit this 89.5 because Lupi Godinez is very, very high volume on the feet. Like, she's putting up some ridiculously high significant strike numbers as of late. So I feel like the path to least resistance would be the takedowns, the wrestling, and if she does that, no sweat. I mean, she clears the score easy, but if she goes out there and strikes for 15 minutes, I think it's going to be a little tougher, but I still think she's going to put up a ton of significant strikes if she does that. But she should wrestle. I mean, come on, it's Elise Reed. She has no takedown defense, no get-up game, no ground game. If Lupi has any type of IQ, she takes her down and finishes her. And then one last one for the fantasy score. I'm going to go with the Raul Rosas Jr., 118.5. I mean, come on, that's a lot. I mean, he's not going to knock down Terrence Mitchell. He's probably not going to land many significant strikes, if any at all, against Mitchell. He's going to get a first-round finish. That's 100 points. He's going to get a takedown, but he probably only needs one take. Like, I could see Raul Rosas Jr. scoring like 105, 106, 107. But 120, he would probably need like multiple takedowns. He would need some significant strikes built in there. I don't think he's really going to need it. I think it might just be one and done for Raul Rosas Jr. So I'm taking the less here on Raul Rosas Jr. for that fantasy score. And then we will move on to takedowns. This is the last one that I added. It's not one that I love. It's one that I think could push. But Valentina Shevchenko, takedowns set at 3. I like them more. So in their last fight that ended, as you know, in the late 4th round, she did have 4 takedowns for what it's worth. And I think the game plan here, should be no different. Take down Alexa Grasso, who has horrible takedown defense, get her down to the mat. And I can see Valentina getting 3, 4, 5 takedowns. I think at the very worst, this pushes. Like, I'm not sure in what world Valentina goes out there and gets only 2 takedowns. If that happens, I'm not, maybe Alexa Grasso improved her takedown defense in the last 6 months, or maybe Valentina has a different game plan in store. I don't know, but I think at the very least she gets 3 here. So I think at the very least it pushes, but like I said, last time they fought, they got 4, or she got 4, and I think she can replicate that same success here in this fight. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is it. Went through 9 plays there. The Valentina more on takedowns. The fantasy score, Charlie Campbell more, Knutson less, Lupi more, Raul Rosas less, and then the fight time, Rosas less, Shevchenko more, Campbell less, and then the significant strikes, Charlie Campbell less. So those are the plays. See if we can go 9 for 9 would be awesome, but 8 for 9, 7 for 9 would be good. See if we can put some PrizePicks tickets together, make some money. And liking the spots this week, liking the card as well. This is a very good card. I'm really much looking forward to this card. Noche UFC, 11 fight card banger. I'm looking forward to every single fight on it. So use that promo code DFSBTN for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Check it out, PrizePicks.com. Highly recommend. And yeah, use that promo code. Helps me, helps you. Free money. Love it. So yeah, guys, best of luck. We'll talk to you soon and see you later.